Hello everyone in the Fi Network. This is the first episode of a series of 5 podcast talks with prominent names in the fintech industry, who are also ambassadors of the fintech investor network and ecosystem. Today, we are going to talk about fintech, a term referring to software, mobile applications, and other technologies created to improve and automate traditional forms of finance for businesses and consumers. But in practical terms, what is being applied in fintech? Why and how people are investing into fintech. To know more about the industry and to gather important tips on how to invest better, we have here 2 specialists. David Kikvidze, fintech professional and chairman of the Fintech Association of Georgia, and Seema Mishra, entrepreneur with experience in fintech in the space of financial inclusion for women. Also, we have as a fine guest one of the partners of the project, Stefano Ferace. He's an analyst from Truffle Capital, and he's going to be moderating the conversation today. Thank you all for joining. So we brought here a general definition and some questions in the beginning of the talk. But David and Seema, how would you define fintech and why is it attractive for investors?
Okay. So I think, innovation, so banks have traditionally adopted technology for the longest. We all are aware of that. But across the whole cycle, all companies go through a stage of maturity and banks also. So one of the key challenges banks have traditionally been facing for the last 2 decades is its legacy work, which makes it hard for new ideas and new solutions to go to market fast. And for us, fintech is that gap. Fintech fills the gap of, where is the underserved market? Where is it that you don't have a solution? So fintech provides you that expertise team or company which can bring those solutions to life. And I think we all have seen the power of these companies coming up, especially in the space of payments, right? Today, we do much more fast payments than using different local app softwares than before. So, and that I think is just a small example of how fintechs are coming and driving innovation and also leading the way, and many times by having the banks then ride along. That's just my view. Over to you, David.
Thank you. So from my side, I would like to add some points about the fintech. For my vision, the fintech is simplifying of the traditional life, I would say, because we know that the financial products, financial instruments, financial services is very vital for the all around the world, for the population, and the traditional banking is not enough because our century is growing up very rapidly, and the commercial banks cannot give this kind of services and products which all we need at the current stage. So fintech is able to do it, and I can say that it's now we are in process of fintechization. I'm sure you all remember that in past period, all new innovations about the financial products and services were linked to commercial banks. But this era is already finished, I would say. And now we are in era in which the innovations will be contributed and distributed by the fintechs, and the commercial banks will be some kind of backstage of the financial systems. They will develop, for example, some products, but the contribution, distribution, selling, sales, and this kind of stuff will be do the fintech companies because they are more flexible, more reliable, more fast, and they have innovative mindset. That's why I would say that the fintech in many very, very little period will become one of the important sectors in financial system.
I will start maybe for a question with to Seema. I saw on your LinkedIn accelerating women careers in tech is your intro. And you have been a director in corporates, entrepreneur, advisor, long experience. Can you give us from a personal point of view, what was your more interesting experience and more relevant for fintechs, maybe?
So across my journey of powering innovation in different banks, I had the experience to work with fintechs, and I highly value the contribution they bring. But one of the things that people often came to me was, we want to hire more women in fintechs. And because women were missing in those companies for whatever reasons, right? So I saw that there is a demand for women on one side, but on the other hand, the pipeline for women was broken. So answering your question on accelerating women in tech, this whole gap was visible to me while working in the financial sector, especially in fintech side. Because yes, we want to create good stuff, but to create good products and solve to be able to build financial products for the whole world, we need to include the whole world. And women are 50% of the consumers in the world today. So what's interesting in the space of fintech last decade is we have slowly warmed up to including women at every step of the way. So in private banking, we want more women consumers today. In wealth management, we are trying to improve efforts on how we make women more aware of their financial needs. There are robo-advisors that are being built to enable women into the investing space, right? Yes. So I think this whole female economy is a powerful thing, because with female economy, we are tapping into the 50% of the global population, which was underserved by financial space.
Thank you very much, Seema. And that's the gender gap in fintech is somehow crucial, but I personally believe that we are getting there, and we are advancing. Thank you also to people like you that are every day empowering women in the tech ecosystem. David, instead, back to you. Also back from your personal experience, you've been a lecturer all around Europe. From a scholar perspective instead of an entrepreneur, how have fintechs and fintech company made an innovation and a change into the financial world?
Thank you, Stefano. So firstly, I would like to highlight that in Georgia, in several years ago, no one knows what about the fintech. No one knows what is the fintech as a term in generally. So I was one of the first persons in Georgia who started talking about the fintech. Me and my colleagues, my friends, and then now we are the founders of our association. We in this period started talking about the fintech. We organized the first conference about the fintech in Georgia, and from 2019, I was the person who introduced the first fintech lecturing topic in the University of Business and Technology. So I was the person who from the 2009 till now, already in 5 universities of Georgia, are already lecturing the fintech in the universities of programs of the finance and the management. So now I can say that the fintech is the one of the most popular world in our country, and many startups in Georgia are rising from the fintech. As for the entrepreneurship ecosystem and how they are linked with the fintech sector, I can say that, for example, in Georgia, we have a state organization named the Georgian Innovations and Technology Agency, GITA. So this organization are providing the grants for the technology startups. And already 3rd year, 3 years already, that's the all winners every year. So in general, I have said that every year 20 startups are winning 1,500 laris, the grant for the startup development. So I would like to say that it's almost third year when in these winning startups mostly are fintechs. So it means that the Georgian ecosystem is very, very adopted with the fintech direction, and we have some, I would say, we have some very good mindset about the financial technologies. So, for example, we have already the startups in Georgia which has already expanded their business in different countries. For example, in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan as well. So we are very, very rapidly growing up. We are very, very rapidly changing our mindset, and we are very also rapidly adopting the new financial technologies, new fintech products and services.
Back on geography, Seema, since you're an expert and you have experience in Asia, how do you see Asia and Western Europe and US competing for fintechs or innovating together? That's questions. And what's the main difference between the fintech Asian market and the European one?
So two questions, and the first one on the competing. I think I would say fintech today is not on competing, and that's a good thing, because 6 years ago there was a lot of competitive mindset, and today we are in the collaborative space. Fintech is working with an ecosystem mindset, where we want to work with across geographies, we want to work with regulators, we want to work with policy shapers, because we realize that for fintechs to be successful, we need more than just the fintech. So I think I would say the landscape everywhere is collaboration. So Asia is a good market to roll out your products, and I think this is where people have a lot of mindset for fast adoption, because they want to cross the different barriers. There are still a lot of barriers in that ecosystem. So I would say for European fintech companies and stuff, if you're looking for growth, Asia should be the first go-to. It is a great go-to market, and also a lot of innovation is coming from Asia now in finance, especially in platform areas. There's a huge, like WeChat, for example, came from China 10 years ago, where they do more with customers. So I think there is a lot of synergies, I would say, instead of competition. And there's a lot of learnings that Asia has. Just to name one, DBS Bank in Singapore was kind of the most innovative bank declared a few years ago, right? Because it was all about not trying to changing mindsets. How do you work with fintechs better? How can we support fintechs better? So I think it's all about synergies in nutshell.
Totally agree. Also on the synergy, and I personally see also a lot of potential and synergies among the two markets, and on an integrated fintech market that is going to be global. And as you said before in your fintech presentation about the payment market, that it's going to speed, and that's a topic where synergies can be really boosting innovation and also inclusion by lowering the borders of payment. David, back to you. Maybe a couple of last questions to you both. What do you think from your perspective, which is a fintech sector that it's on the wave as of now, and that's going to be key in the future, in the next future?
Thank you, Stefano. Very good question and great question. I'm always thinking about what will be in the future key of the really how to say really big bang, I would say, for the fintech sector. So I think it will be AI, because in the financial sector is a huge amount of the information. I'm sure you know that the commercial banks, the fintech companies as well, as already have a huge amount of information, and this information is divided in very, very many variety and very many type of information. So this information needs analytics. and no one person can really make this analyze this information, because it's enormous enormous work to do, and it's impossible to do it with the physical person or individual person. It needs some technology, and I think that artificial intelligence is the particular technology which can analyze this information. So why the information and why the analytics? Because at the current stage, we are already the population and the customers is already very, very high educated. At the current stage in our market is already, I would say, everything. There is no any, for example, service or products which you can imagine and you cannot, for example, get from the any type of organization. But still, there is a huge gaps, and these gaps is depending on the analytics of the personal information, of the personal behavior of the customer. So we have to read this book, I would say, the book of the customer, what he needs, because we're talking about that the customer is, yes, very well educated. He knows which kind of services and products he wants to use, but still, there is a gap by which we can analyze his behavior, and according to his behavior, we can create the really new innovation which we can present to the market. So in this regard, we have to think about the open data. As you know, the open banking is already introduced all around the world, and it's still a new product, I would say. There is no, for example, there is no, how to say, very already some big market about the open banking. Still, it's under development. For example, in Georgia, we have already finished first step of open banking, and we are now working about the open finance. But we have to think about the open data, not only open banking, because there is a lot of information, not only in the banking, but also we can talk about information about the governmental sectors as well, because the state entities also have a huge information about their customers and how they behavior, how they, I don't know, what kind of services they are buying, what kind of services they're paying the money, what they are consuming, and so on and so on. So this information should be analyzed, and these analytics can make only artificial intelligence. And I'm sure in very, very short, I would say short time, we will see the new platforms, new applications, which can analyze the particular information about the client. And according to this information, many companies will buy this information, analyze the information, and introduce new products, new services. And I'm sure that this, how to say, this cycle will really reshape our financial system, and our financial system will become more flexible and more innovative, which will be fitted on the consumer's behavior.
Thank you, David. For sure, AI, it's a big thing, and it's in Italy we say it's on the mouth of everyone. Everyone is talking about that because it's gonna be a big bang. Seema, more difficult question for you. What do you see as a big trend for you?
Yeah, I mean, first, I totally agree with what David said about AI. I'm very excited how AI, going back to my topic of access, I'm very excited to see how AI is going to enable more credit, more loans to, SMEs and entrepreneurs who don't have access to it. I mean, that's definitely a strong use case there, because the more data we know about people, the more de-risking can happen. On the other side, I think while AI will help us get more data about the users, we still will have limitations to serving them, provided we can have a decentralized backbone. And I think that's why D5, where we are talking about moving the whole financial space from a centralized body to a decentralized by leveraging blockchain, by including more people as part of Web3, having creators. I think that's the space that I feel is growing at a rate of 40% by 2030. So because, I'm going back to what I said in the start, we have gone through 3 generations of Web3, and the first one was more push model. The second was more, we started creating creators. And now in the third phase, we're saying we'll have the push and the pull together, where we're saying there can be creators of financial services anywhere, and there can be consumers anywhere, but the governance of bringing them together, we need to make it decentralized.
Definitely. That was my last questions. Thank you both for joining our first podcast. And Carolina, I'll leave it to you for the conclusions.
Thank you all for being here today. It was an incredible conversation. And to finalize the episode, I have a final question. Would you have any final recommendations for the people listening to the podcast?
My recommendation, not only for the startups and not only for entrepreneurs, but also any kind of customer who using the financial product and services, please always be most give the feedbacks about the products, be the critical in this regard, because the critical information, critical feedback about the product and services is most valuable for the company, for the startup, and it's this depends on the success of this organization. So my recommendation is be always the critical, because the critical information, I would say, the one of the key aspects of the innovations.
I probably have two recommendations. When it comes to investors, I feel we need to invest more in communities, because the Web3 world or the decentralized world, there's a lot yet to be done, and it's got huge potential. So I feel the investment in communities, it has to be, and people should do more with communities, because that's where the current information is not the historical, right? What are the needs? The second thing that I thought is the demystification, because although I have built a lot of products, I feel it's not about selling products, it's about understanding why we need to do something. So I feel that the demystification of a lot of jargons in financials and fintechs, those could be some key enablers to the ecosystem.
Well, thank you so much for participating in this interesting conversation, Seema and David, and we hope this is the first of many collaborations in the project. And to our listeners, if you are interested in joining our network for investors, visit fintechnetwork.eu. On our website, you can explore for free our mapping tools on the European fintech ecosystem, with excellent leads to start identifying the main actors in 10 European countries. Also, follow us on LinkedIn, the fastest way to connect with our project and to receive the latest updates on our activities. And for more, stay tuned to this podcast series. It might be the start of your investment journey. We will meet you in the next episode.